Hi, I'm here with Carrie Santos, CEO of EO. Thank you, Carrie, so much for being with us today.
Thanks, Winnie. I'm really glad to be here with you.
What a phenomenal time to be a member of the Entrepreneurs Organization. I have seen extraordinary things that extraordinary EO members have been doing around the globe over the last few weeks. And I've also seen extraordinary things that you and your amazing global staff have been doing. So thank you for that. Thank you for all of the countless hours and effort that you've been putting in to really helping our members survive and thrive through this crisis. Thank you. What are you seeing?
Well, I have to give a big thanks too, because, our 130 staff based around the world have been pulling out all the stops. It's kind of amazing to see all the different teams come together, just pushing in one direction and supporting each other. It's really an inspirational experience to have such a strong team to work with. And then the members, it's just unique for me to go through such a big crisis. I've never been in a crisis in this organization, but to be surrounded by people who are unstoppable, who support each other, who have seen worse crises and they're not afraid, it really lifts us up. If you want to be around a group in a crisis, you want to be around entrepreneurs, because this group doesn't stop. They literally, one will get down, one has some bad days, and then there's 10 people lifting them up. So if you're going through a global crisis, EO is the place to go through it with.
It's just phenomenal. And what are we doing as EO to help our members through this crisis?
So we're really focused because, this has just come up quickly on a global level. We're really focused on the peer-to-peer learning and support. That is our bread and butter. That is what we offer members. So we're looking at the new ways we can provide that learning and support from peers in this new environment, because what entrepreneurs need at this moment is to know how to do it, how to get to the other side. And with 14,000 members, pretty much there's a member who has already been through a crisis like this in your industry, and that peer-to-peer support is amazing. The other part, because it started in one region in China, in the North Asia region, that region has been sharing its experience with all of the others, and really they're 2 months ahead of us and shining that light about where we can go, what's going to happen next. And they themselves have been sharing their own crises. They've had tsunamis, they've had earthquakes, and those members who have been through that have shared with others who haven't. It's really just a great opportunity for members to benefit from each other.
Yeah, so I know that that everyone today is just being flooded with information from all the news alerts, the WHO updates, and working with their clients, their employees. How can members benefit from information from other EO members?
Yeah. So I think one thing we've heard from our members in China is that news overload can really get to you. It can immobilize you. It can bring you down. And what I think our members are really benefiting from is from information from other EO members who are doing that experience share that is so common in EO. That is the kind of information that helps our members mobilize their resources, mobilize their energy, as opposed to the general news cycle, which is meant to scare you. So we had an amazing experience just on Sunday, which seems like eons ago, but I think that was 6 days ago. Sunday, on the weekend, our EO Italy president of the chapter and president-elect did a webinar for initially for Europe members, but we've shared the recording all around the world. And they were able to take members inside northern Italy, inside to the very crisis spot of Italy, and explain what life is like there. And not to just hear the doom and gloom, the people selling the headlines, but yeah, their stores are stocked. Yes, they can get things at the pharmacy. Yes, they have a regular life. They're eating lovely meals that they make themselves. But the hospitals are overcrowded. Hearing from someone who is an entrepreneur what the experience is like, who shut down their business, how's it going, it really gave us a sense of what's going to happen to the next place that is going to be hit by this virus, and to know what to look out for. And honestly, I'm going to repeat something we heard on that webinar, because Jakob Swan was so emphatic. He was so clear that he wanted his message out, so I really would love to repeat it. He said, in EO, there is a huge task to spread this message. We like action, entrepreneurs. The action today is to sit still, don't move. So that's what Italy is telling us. We are go-getters, do, and he's saying, sit still. It was a very powerful message that's hard for us to hear because, let me tell you, action is what it's all about. But hearing it from someone at the most affected city in Italy was just so powerful. And that's the kind of thing you're not going to hear on the news. You really need to hear from an EO member.
Yeah, one thing that inspired me, because I was also on that webinar with, I think, 200 entrepreneurs from all over the world. He said, be positive, but stay negative. such a powerful statement, and just stay positive, but really protect yourself and your family and stay negative. Thank you. So preceding Italy, North Asia, and obviously being impacted by the coronavirus, did they talk about how long it would take to return to normal? What did we learn?
Yeah, so what's amazing, again, the membership in China and North Asia is so strong. So here they are on almost month 3 of their crisis. And early on their own, they started surveying the membership on WeChat, because that's how you do it in China, to find out, what is going on and how can EO serve its members. So they've been using these surveys to make sure that we can help exactly members wherever they're going. So through the surveys, we found out that now the crisis in China, our members are predicting that either it will be ending in March or April. So about a third believe it's going to be over in China in the end of March, which is just 10 days away. Another 26% say end of April. And about 23% are saying it might be after that. But it gives us that sense that these things do have a beginning, middle, and end, and that our members on the ground in China are seeing that, can give hope to those of us just at the beginning of the cycle that, yes, we will get through this.
And in that same survey, did they talk about what were the most significant member needs?
Yeah, this is so interesting because the needs identified in China over a month or two ago, I think are going to resonate with all of our members. We're all in the same boat. So guess what? 61% of members in China said that cash flow management was the number one thing they wanted more information and expertise about. Number 2, 58%. Tips to survive difficult times. So those are the emotional needs of our members, not just, MBA stuff, but tips to survive difficult times, because our souls need to be nourished to be able to keep moving forward. Then after that, another % were interested in how to implement changes that will allow them to survive and thrive. 50% are interested in how to move from an offline business to an online business, and 44% interested in how to build remote teams that are effective. So I think those needs in China will be pretty much the same across the board of what people need right now to help their businesses and themselves survive.
And I saw that someone gave over 500,000 masks.
Yeah, so that's the amazing thing. While the economy's collapsing, while their businesses are collapsing, EO members in mainland China mobilized. They could not sit there. They knew that whatever crisis they were going through, it was much worse in the hospitals. They had to do something for their communities. So a task force came together of over 50 members, and they figured out in the midst of everything how to donate 584,000 masks to 275 hospitals in China, in addition to $1 million cash donation. So that's what our members are capable of, even as the world is crashing around them.
That's fantastic. And what are the biggest changes that are happening within EO itself?
Yeah, so while you all are dealing with your businesses, we're dealing with the business of EO, and it's a little more mundane, but just so you understand what's been going on with us. First, we had to cancel the major events. The Global Leadership Conference, our big annual meeting, has never been canceled before in the history of EO. And so we took the bold step to just call it to ease our members' minds and go through a major cancellation process, figuring out how to reschedule it. And then we set up a process to orderly review all of our in-person meetings, especially as the virus is shifting around the world. Can we meet? Can't we meet? We have now objective criteria to help anyone go through, should we have an in-person meeting? And then with that closeout, now we're starting the huge shift to online member engagement and training. And it's pretty much like the Chinese member said, how do I go from an offline business to an online business? EO is an in-person meeting business. That's what we do. We love to get together. And so making that change and finding a way for our members to connect digitally, virtually is a huge change, but we are so excited about it. We see members connecting. We just have to make it easier, simpler for people to get that same warm, life-enhancing connection right now while we're at home in quarantine.
And what changes can EO members see today?
So we are working hard to make sure that we understand what members want and need. But already at this point, given the kinds of crises that our members are experiencing in their businesses and the real lack of income, we've already decided at the global board level to waive requalification for the coming year. So we know that you are going to need some time to make sure your business is back on its feet, and we wouldn't want any issue of requalification to keep somebody out of EO. So we've already waived that requirement for next year. And another really important offering that members can take advantage of right now is the My EO Deal Exchange. So that's an opportunity where members can opt in, decide they want to do business with other members, show what they have, look at the other offerings there, and do business in a place that makes sense, just on an entirely voluntary basis, so it doesn't impact our non-solicitation clauses. And for all members, the initial fee to join the My EO Deal Exchange has been waived. So the $2,500 fee is now gone, and everybody can join this year and start doing business on the My EO Deal Exchange.
Thank you, Carrie, for everything you're doing for your staff, for the tireless hours that you're putting into really moving EO into the future. And thank you for everything that you're doing personally. I've seen those emails from you at 2 a.m. and from your team, and just working 24/7 for everyone in EO to thrive through this crisis. Yeah. And there's a tagline that's been shared, that we are in this together, and I really truly believe that, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure. I can't tell you how wonderful it is working with 14,000 entrepreneurs around the world who just don't give up. And so we're not giving up either. We're just going to plunge ahead and do whatever it takes.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks.